Hi, this is Steve Adamko, the owner and founder of Spectrum Interiors here in Portage/Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I have a few reviews here from some people, an architect, a business owner, and 3 clients. So I thought I would give you some insight from other people. A lot of people are looking for interior designers and wondering, where do you fit on the scale of expertise and knowledge and wisdom and talent? Are you there at 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, or are you level 10? All right. So this should give you some insight because a lot of people are looking for someone who can meet their needs and their wants and their desires and has the vision to make it happen. And since interior design can be very expensive, you want to make sure you have the best person because that protects your investment, and also the right things are done, the right priorities are taken into consideration. Something might be able to be economized on to a certain degree, and other things you don't want to compromise at all. So some people might say, well, that was more than I expected to spend. But if you look at it from the standpoint of value, you realize that that is the best decision and the best move to make. So everything has to be orchestrated so things fit in together so that not only do you have the proper look that fits the needs and the expectations of the client, but the most important thing on top of that is that it has the right ambiance. And that is like the proverbial cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. The whipped cream and the cherry on the top. That's what we're talking about. So a person like myself that's at a level 10, obviously I can do anything from 0 to 10, no problem whatsoever. So when I incorporate my talents and abilities and vision into interior design, I'm looking at space planning, I'm looking at architecture, I'm looking at lighting, I'm looking at materials, I'm looking at textures, I'm looking at textural orchestration, which makes a significant contribution to an interior, one that can literally be felt. And a lot of interiors don't have that aspect. They have a nice look, but they're kind of superficial in a way. They don't have much depth. So again, interiors need to reflect the individuals that live there, and hopefully they have depth of personality, and that is reflected in the design. And this is like orchestrating music. There's a lot of complications to it. And the best stuff, a lot of times, the stuff that has the most, the interiors that have the most oomph and impact, they look simple. But just like all things that look simple, they're not that easy to accomplish. In figure skating, Olympic level, they make things, the figure skaters make things look effortless, easy, smooth, like, oh yeah, I could do that. Well, try it. You probably won't be so fortunate as they are. You won't be able to do it. That's what I'm saying. You won't be able to do it, and you'll realize it's a lot harder than it seems. And it's the same with great interior design. Average and mediocre design, a lot of people seem to be able to do it, and a lot of people say, yes, I can design, I can do this, but they don't really understand all the ramifications and all the interrelatedness that goes into producing a great interior. So anyway, I'm going to run down some reviews here. I'm going to actually read them as they were written because I have the professional recording equipment. So I guess that leaves it to me to read them to you. So basically, it's kind of like fan mail, if you will, and I get to read the letters to you so that you get some insight, not just from me, but from other people as well. All right, the first one is from Allegretti Architects. And he says here, John Allegretti, Spectrum Interiors, which is my company, or Spectrum Interiors, which is owned by me. And I'm the one that does the interior design here anyway. Spectrum Interiors is a true interior designer working with the owner's program with a special or a spatial vision. Spatial meaning space, obviously. And I guess I could say special and spatial vision, which achieves solutions greater than expected within an ambiance never envisioned. We need this type of designers caring. All right, I'm going to read that over again. Allegretti Architects, John Allegretti, FAIA, That means he's a fellow in the American Institute of Architects. So that's a very high rating. He says, Spectrum Interiors is a true interior designer. He's speaking of me here. Spectrum Interiors is a true interior designer working with the owner's program with a spatial vision, which achieves solutions greater than expected within an ambiance never envisioned. We need this type of designer's caring. I was so appreciative of what John wrote there because I really admire his work. He's a fantastic architect. Second letter here we have from the owner of Integrated Smart Technologies. Steve is the consummate definition of passion for his field of expertise. Steve knows his stuff and paints a vivid picture through a simple conversation that creates excitement and helps you visualize his shared ideas to bring a space to life. All right, now for the client letters. Client number 1. Now, I'm not going to mention any names here because I like to protect my client's privacy. So that's why we're just going to do it client 1, 2, and 3. So here we go, client number 1. We have a Greek revival home built in 1861. We retained Steve to redo our master bedroom and its adjacent sitting room. Because the discovery aspect of his work is so vitally important, he asked many questions that were deeply revealing in order to arrive at the essence of what we were trying to grasp and envision. We loved the charm of our old home, yet wanted to bring things a little more up to date. We needed a fresher look while respecting the interior architecture. We were thinking of something a little more eclectic and contemporary to counterpoint the house architecture. Steve came up with a marvelous design that was clean, crisp, and exciting. He delivered floor plans and sketches, which captured a look and feeling that we could not envision ourselves. He even designed a custom 4-poster bed and 2 nightstands wrapped in faux leather and trimmed with brass moldings. The nightstands have claret-colored faux lizard tops banded by brass moldings. He also installed specialty track lighting in our old home, which brought life to each of the rooms in order to bring the rooms to life, as well as enhancing texture and color. One of the most interesting aspects of the project was removing the old hand-sewn wool carpet in order to have hardwood floors with oriental rugs and runners. We were aghast when it appeared to be a dirty pine floor instead of hardwood. After securing and sanding the floor, we were rewarded to find out that the flooring was actually tulip wood. It has streaks of green and red in it that worked perfectly with the color scheme, as if it was planned that way from the very beginning. We are delighted with the way the rooms have turned out. The resultant ambiance is also clean and refreshing while still respectful of our old world architecture. Now for client number 2. We have an old English Tudor house that had a combination powder room and bathroom that was in need of redoing. It consists of a small room with a counter and 2 windows. There's a tiled archway opposite the counter, which leads into a small toilet chamber. It includes a toilet and sink and has a window over the sink. All 3 windows overlook the dog run. Obviously not the best view to envision. Steve came up with a design that was absolutely stunning for such a small space. Because of the black and gold tiling, it reminded Steve of Egyptian or Assyrian aspects from antiquity. Knowing his history came in pretty handy. Anyway, I wanted something significantly more elegant than what it looked like with its brown floral wallpaper. Steve brought in oriental rugs, fabric wall covering, and painted the ceiling in trim black. He also brought in low voltage lighting with well-controlled beam spreads to add contrast and drama. In addition, he custom designed 3 pieces of unique furniture that fit the space superbly. He designed a bench, a pedestal, and a marble-top console table. The materials on these one-of-a-kind pieces of furniture utilize black lacquer, faux lizard and bird's eye maple veneer. One of the unexpected, unique things that Steve did was to cover all the windows. He completely covered the 2 windows in the small room in special artistic panels with beautiful blue draperies framing the panels. He covered the sink window in the toilet chamber with a mirror and then draperies over the mirror. He did the same style of window treatment over the toilet that was opposite the sink and hung a 500-year-old Chinese woodblock print that was the perfect combination of blue to go with the draperies. Additionally, a beautiful antique watercolor is now hanging between the pair of windows in the small room over the pedestal he designed that holds a beautiful example of a quartz crystal geological specimen. A pinpoint beam of light now illuminates the geological specimen, and another beam of light illuminates the watercolor that's over it. It is truly stunning and dramatic, especially when you first enter the room. I'm so elated with the total completed environment that I feel like Cleopatra every time I enter the room. Yes, that was indeed an awesome room to do. Very fun. And it underscores the beautiful, marvelous things that you can do in small rooms and the elegance of materials that you can incorporate. So that's a little side note on that job. Okay, now finally for client number 3. Now this was a large residential job, and I believe I was on this for about 3 years. I designed the moldings and custom furniture and the lighting plan and a whole bunch of things, and interfaced with the contractors. So here we go. We live on a lake near a golf course. We had hired several different architects at different times to come up with plans to expand and enhance our lake residence. We finally came upon one that had a design that we liked and subsequently commenced construction. At this early stage of construction, Steve happened to call out of the blue to ask how things were, as we had not talked to him for a few years. I filled him in on what we were doing, and he was interested in seeing it. He came to the site and overviewed the architectural plans. Since we had worked together years before, he was keenly aware of the furniture that we would be using. I have a very ornate oriental table that is inlaid with mother of pearl. Steve felt very strongly that the architectural details did not mesh at all with the furniture. He asked if the architect ever inquired as to the type of furniture that we have, and I told him no. Steve said that was a big mistake on the architect's part. Because of that one small question that Steve asked, it saved us from going in a direction that would have not ended up well. Thank God he has a very holistic vision. He sees and makes sure that both the architecture and interior design work together as a unit and complement each other. He always says you can never really separate architecture from interior design. Well, that's for sure. Well, to make a long story shorter, Steve ended up designing everything from custom moldings, a custom stairway and handrails, 3 custom fireplace surrounds, and custom bookcases, so everything would be conducive and orchestrated as architectural backdrops and tie-ins to all the furniture that would come later. Wow. And talking about furniture, he ended up designing several custom furniture pieces. Steve designed custom nightstands for the master bedroom, a tansu chest for the master bedroom, and an armoire for the master bedroom. Their style and elegance are impressive. In addition, he created a pair of wonderful consoles for sitting right next to the library chaises, as well as a pair of very unique drum tables between the chaises. In short, he envisioned and designed 5 very exclusive pieces of furniture. Steve created all the wonderful and comprehensive architectural millwork. All the walls and the cathedral ceilings in the major rooms are covered in custom wall coverings, handmade in Italy and Japan. The master bedroom walls and cathedral ceiling are covered in hand-painted silk wall covering. Very elegant. There is such an immense value added to the final finished look and feel of all the rooms when Steve outshines his peers by incorporating the electrical and specific lighting plans with the floor plan and furniture layout. Rarely, if ever, do interior designers know to do this. Our architects never considered it. How can you when you don't know what the final finished rooms are going to be like with all the furniture in place? That's where Steve comes in. Nothing looks right if you don't light it right. It's become a wonderful environment for living, especially when you couple it up with living on a lake as well. Without Steve, it would never have come to fruition, and we would have missed a great opportunity. We are so appreciative of his time, talent, wisdom, insight, perception, vision, attention to detail, and most of all, his ability to see things done before they become a reality. Because of his knowledge and having carpentry skills as well, he relates very well to contractors and tradesmen. All I can say is, wow, what a blessing to have the right people and the right designer. The look he developed is an extension of the tastes, personalities, lifestyle, and dreams of my husband and I. Steve is truly a master of his craft. Now she breaks things down into several areas of refinement, and it becomes very revealing, to say the least. So it's nice to hear this from someone as perceptive as this, and it's wonderful to have clients like this. So here's her next category. Ability to see things in their completed form before they are finished. This particular attribute that Steve has was extremely beneficial to me. It's challenging for me to fully explain it, but I will do my best. Steve has a very remarkable, valuable, and precious gift. He has a knack to not only envision beautiful interiors, but also the ability to fully explain his ideas in careful and accurate details before they are transformed into reality. I personally do not have that skill, nor could I picture the total finished project in Technicolor before we met. By using specific words, he helped me create a picture in my mind of what he had envisioned. This is a gift to and for him as a designer, but also for the recipient. In this case, I was the recipient. If you are wise, you will be a recipient too. He is precise with his word choices. I appreciated him taking the time to initially ask the right questions so that we were able to get the best results. Would you want to go on an expensive design and decorating journey in uncharted waters without an expert guide? Do you prefer a guide who can see and visualize things before you arrive at the destination? One who can explain it to you in crisp details so that you can see it and feel it before you get there? It's both an exciting and secure feeling to experience. Honestly, I've read so many reviews here on Houzz. The majority of the comments include, so-and-so designer is just awesome and wonderful, yet I don't see it in their work. I have been to New York City and have immersed myself in some of the best interior design work available. It's only when you've seen and been exposed to the best that you can accurately judge the rest. Next category she goes into is custom furniture design. There are many cases in a home where nothing on the market can be found to elicit the right connotation, look, and feel. One can look the world over to find that perfect piece of furniture and not find it. This is where custom furniture design comes into play. It's absolutely wonderful when you can find within one designer the talent to create great interiors which have ambiance, to also have that same person design furniture to go perfectly with it. Wow. It reminds me of French history where the architects and interior designers, Piercier and Fontaine, designed not only the interiors, but all the furniture as well. One can find these types of designers in New York, but it's a rare treasure to find one in Southwest Michigan. Steve has a great command of form, shape, proportion, and texture. He has a very fine-tuned eye. This is of immense benefit and value to any discerning client. For the master bedroom, Steve designed a custom Japanese stairway chest that was fabricated in 3 parts. Another piece is an armoire with a gold-leaf arched top and carved finials on the front corners. The double doors were subdivided by moldings in increasingly smaller dimensions, moving toward the top and inset with burl veneer and unique drawer pulls. One of my favorites is a pair of custom lacquered nightstands done in an Oriental design with beautiful hand-painted Oriental scenic fronts. It is designed with radius corners and a scalloped open area beneath the top. The 3 drawers below are all sitting on a scalloped base. The Dangia chaises in the library are covered in a hand-blocked, large-scale English chintz. Next to those, Steve designed a pair of consoles with a stepped body covered in Aframosa veneer. These have silk swags on both sides. On the corners are gold leaf spheres. This base portion sits on a plinth of bird's eye maple with Japanese calligraphy. A marble top is supported by studs, which makes it appear to be floating. The marble top rests in a frame that is reeded and gilded. Steve also designed some beautiful cylinder tables that are hand-carved for texture. They are gold-leafed and wrapped in a suede napkin with tassels on the corners and the addition of lion's head pulls for easy moving. It was a treat and a pleasure to have something designed exclusively for me. Please check out Steve's YouTube video where he has his work side by side with the work of French architects and interior designers Pierre and Fontaine. His YouTube channel is Design Ambiance, capital DESIGN, and then no space, capital AMBIANCE. That's the French spelling. Design Ambiance. So it looks just like YouTube, both words put together with no space. So Design Ambiance on YouTube. Her next category is lighting design. When the architect designed my home with cathedral ceilings and a 2-story dining room, there was no inclusion of lighting other than what was required by Michigan state codes. We thought that the electrician would automatically know to create lighting for our particular needs. We were fortunate that we started working with Steve before we needed that. Steve said it's always a bad idea to have an electrician do the lighting plan, as they don't know where the furniture and other items will be finally placed. In addition, the fact is electricians are not lighting designers. We ended up with a marvelous lighting plan keyed to the furniture placement. It brought the interior magnificently to life, and it's more alive now than ever before. Every bulb or lamp was chosen for its effect regarding brilliance, color rendition, and textural revelation. Anyone building a new home or remodeling an existing space that doesn't create and use a personalized lighting plan is just in the dark. Without incorporating a specialized lighting plan, you'll never attain the fullest level of presentation, even if you place your expensive furniture and accessories in it. Steve is the only one I found who has a total vision. You need Steve's skills and talents to showcase the particular elements, features, and characteristics in your home. Okay, the next category, custom picture framing. Steve's artwork selection and custom framing is fantastic. Not only has he designed custom frames and then built them from scratch, but he's constructed intricate, stacked, and multiple frames for artwork. His ability to coordinate accessories, as well as have artistic inventiveness, produces a one-of-a-kind presentation which promotes a cohesive feel within the space. And now she's referring to the book that I'm in the process of writing. I recently read portions of Steve's forthcoming book. It's absolutely fantastic. There's lots of information that needs to get out there to correct a lot of errors and wrong thinking in the realm of interior design and decoration. It is all about the magic of ambiance and how to achieve it in your home. Your home is the only environment that you can truly control and the only environment that affects your life the most. Now, regarding the articles I've written, I want to inform people that Steve has a lot of excellent articles online. He is a diamond level expert author on easyinarticles.com. I believe he has around 25 articles written there. I have read many of them and they are truly excellent. It is definitely worth investing your time to read them. Now she talks about my seminars. If you haven't been to one of Steve Adamko's interior design seminars, you are really missing out. Not only is he extremely knowledgeable and informative, but he's very energetic and animated too. His funny and humorous personality shines through in all his presentations as well. When he gets done explaining things, you would actually need help to misunderstand him. He's that good. Now she talks about my webinars. Webinars are some of the best ways to learn and be enlightened on different topics. Steve's interior design webinars are full of information, helpful tips, and insights. There are designers out there practicing that don't even know their stuff. A large number of them don't implement or even know the stuff that Steve teaches. Many designers are thinking they are professionals, yet they are operating without the requisite knowledge. I can see why so many clients are deceived in thinking so much out there is awesome when it truly isn't. Now she speaks about my teleseminars. For pure information and for those great question and answer sessions in regard to interior design and decorating, you'll have to partake of Steve Adamko's teleseminars. They are very insightful. You'll definitely experience a variety of aha moments. So there we have it. That concludes 5 very nicely written reviews. And you can contact me at my personal toll-free number, 866-239-6520. Always love to talk. I think that's the best communication media there is. You know, emails are okay, but when you're talking to someone or maybe thinking about doing some work with someone, you really need to talk to them. You really need to find out what they're about, their animation, their enthusiasm, their knowledge, and all that is best garnered with a telephone call, not email and not texting. Always a telephone call. That is the warm human way to do things. All right, once again, my toll-free number is 866-239-6520.